Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're going to be looking at VR Troopers issue 5, and this is written by Mairghread Scott, and I apologize because I probably said that completely wrong. Illustrations by Sebastian Piriz, colors by J.P. Jordan, and letters by Taylor Esposito. Yeah, apologies if I said any names wrong. So Ryan has just discovered his mum, and he calls her that. She's like, "Don't call me that." She hasn't been that for a long time, so she acknowledges automatically that she shouldn't be called mother. And then Ryan's just sort of remembering and getting what's going on, and then they're sort of debating, are they going to turn her into the Altarians? And JP's like, she's a bit trigger happy, and then he's like, wait a minute, we've got our friend Kaitlin who's in trouble because of you with the exosuit. And then JP's like, we have a holding cell, but it's got loads of storage in there. And then she says, you are not ready for this. So we sort of learn that Cole Sictor's consciousness is entwined with Grimlord. So basically what Grimlord does from his reality, he struck up a deal which made Sictor a multi-million billionaire, whatever. So he's certainly not a victim. So he can sort of transfer into this body. But the point is, his matter still remains on the other side. So if it's disrupted, that connection is sort of lost. I mean, they can regain it, but it's sort of lost. So it's the same with the sort of scuds, which we've seen. Also rescuing Kaitlin, you know, that she's trying to say that you are not up for this. You do not understand what Grimlord is. So the only people that ever mastered this transfer of matter between these dimensions was Horatio Hart and Tyler Still. I'm trying to remember, did we know Professor Hart's first name in the series? I don't know if we did, but I thought that was interesting. So, and then they acknowledged that he invented the trooper tech as well. So it's a long story, and then Ryan's like, talk fast, my friend's in trouble. So we go back to a certain obsession, Tyler Still's obsession with his work, because he was dedicated to his profession. He worked hard, and they used to make jokes that him and Hart spent more time than he did with his actual wife, which is probably very true. Let's be honest. For those, I mean, I work. I spend 8, maybe 9 hours sometimes in an office with other people. That's not with my wife, so I spend more time with those people than my wife. So it's actually quite natural. So what Ryan's mum did for work is she worked for the defense military, and that was pretty much hollowed out once the Altarians took over, because they don't want the Earthlings to have an ability to push back. And as Still was developing these things, he realized that his wife would not be able to keep his secrets, and that she would perhaps pass on this information to this militaries, which would use it perhaps against the Altarians, or the Altarians would get hold of it, so to speak. So he left. Tyler Still left with his child and his mum, and there was a big, massive commute, so she didn't do it, but she did keep tabs on them. And when it came to it, she went to question them again, but also the Altarians did. And we see there, she actually opens the portal. She doesn't tell Ryan that, but she opens the portal, and then they get pulled in. But it was stable, and then the Altarians destroyed it, which left them stranded. And then we discovered that Grimlock and Pain come hand in hand. And literally, she wasn't worth anything to them. but he was, because there was another dimension to conquer. So she was pretty much cast aside, while Still and Heart were controlled, and they did lots of horrible things too. However, when she did get back in, there was enough of Heart to rebel and send his mum back through the portal. So, but we don't know if he survived. We suspect not. But Still is still alive. The Earth is in danger, but she doesn't trust anyone. She also talks about Father clearly not being himself, so that is quite concerning. So rather than her going and approaching Ryan and talking to Ryan, she's been doing her own thing on her own. She didn't. She she perhaps preferred punching him rather than being a bad memory, should we say, because she felt she could achieve more, but she probably could have achieved more working with them. So that's why she was probably after the virtualizers, so she could get it. But she was also concerned that they work with the Eltarians. They're Eltarians operators, so she could have been turned in. So anyway, eventually they agreed to work together to save Father, to save Earth, to save Kaitlin. So that is the thing. However, she does give one sort of last thing. You don't know who your father is anymore. He's done some terrible things in this other dimension, and he's called Darkheart. You don't deal with Darkheart. Darkheart, he deals with you. To be continued. I thought that was a very good issue. I liked it. There was some great character developments. The mum twist at the last issue I thought was pretty cool, and it panned out really well, better than what I expected, because in the series his mum is, I don't think she's ever mentioned. I could be completely wrong. You VR buffs, come and tell me if I'm wrong. All right. Either way, I'm satisfied. But yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. So there's 6 issues. So is that going to be it? That is the thing. Is this a tester for a further series? I guess the sales will only tell, is this as popular as perhaps Power Rangers was? I've not had no word of anything more. If you have, let me know as well, because sometimes I don't know everything. You know, I'm only human. So, hope you like my video. If you do, please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. Really do appreciate it. Thank you everybody that subscribed already. And as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.